Okay, hello, welcome to today's stream. I have been talking about this stream since like the beginning of the week. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna do this stream, it's gonna be so much fun, yay. So the question remains, who will it be fun for, me or you? Most likely me. Because any chance to just sit and rant about things is always a good time for me personally. Hold on, let me see. We shall put on some music. Okay, there we go. So yeah, as I was saying before, I have been super hyped about this stream since like I thought of it, because like throughout like the previous week and this week I have just been like watching and reading so much of like the old school manga and anime. And by old school I don't mean something like something like, what is this, Yu Hakusho or something. No, nothing like that. I mean something that I grew up personally watching. And I know like a lot of people who do watch anime did grow up watching that as well, so I just really wanted to talk about it, because there's not a lot of opportunities in life where you get just like, you can talk about your favorite show and stuff with people, but for some reason it's never anime, because like not a lot of people watch the same things even if they watch anime. Like, oh god, am I gonna sound like a weirdo if I say like, oh, people just watch stuff like Attack on Titan but nobody watches like other stuff. Hi Sue. So yeah, I just really wanted to talk about this stuff, and I am super hyped for this stream. How do you even start? Like, do you just pick an anime and just go on about it, or god, I should have like really written my thoughts down to have more clarity, but yeah, that idea didn't come to me before. Good ideas only come to me after they're no longer needed. Hello, welcome. So let's start with the first one that I watched. So like a few days ago, I don't know what happened. I think I was looking at the Omnioji game, and I just remembered like, hey, wait, wasn't there a show I used to watch as a kid about an Omnioji? Like, he was supposed to be the grandson of Abe no Seme and had all these like really hot shikigami. And so I kind of just like looked it up, and then I realized, oh wait, Shonen Omnioji, yeah, that was the name. Unfortunately, Shonen Omnioji doesn't have a manga. Well, it does have one, but it has like 2 chapters. So I decided to just watch the anime instead, which has like around, I think, 24-25 episodes. One season only, unfortunately. No season 2, even though it felt like it needed one, but Anyway, so I started watching Shonen Omnioji, and oh my god, it brought back so many memories. Also, god, I know like anime characters, especially like in action anime, tend to be on the younger side, like most of the time, like they're usually teens. But in Shonen Omnioji, he's like 13 years old. And I just like sat there thinking, what the fuck? Like, this 13-year-old is already trying to figure out what kind of job he needs to do, and I'm like, what? When I was 13, I was listening to Linkin Park and having existential crisis. Like, just sitting in a corner of my room and going, I have become so numb, oh my god, yes. And then in this anime, like the first episode, he's just like trying out different jobs and seeing which one suits him the best. And I'm just sitting here like, wow, I feel so inadequate. I mean, I know it's like a fictional world, and also one that's like set in like the Edo era, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously, like, how they live their life is very different, but it was so funny to me. Like, I just had to like to take 5 to 10 minutes to just think about how I've lived my own life. Not that it would bring a lot of changes, but still. So yeah, I started watching Shonen Omnioji, and gotta say, like, it's not exactly what I remembered it to be, but also I don't have a lot of memories because I was pretty young when I first watched it. But god, the one thing I remembered was the music, like the ending and the opening of any anime. So back then, obviously, I had no idea. Like, I don't think Spotify even was Spotify even a thing back then? Wait, when did Spotify? When was Spotify released? Spotify release date 7th October 2008. What was I doing in 2008? How old was I in 2008? I can't do that kind of mental mathematics. Spotify wasn't a thing in India, at least at that time. You didn't have like Apple Music and all of that. So Spotify is that old? Yeah, apparently it is. Versus Neon Genesis Evangelion Eureka 7 is the best anime for me, but the story is so dark. I never really got into Neon Genesis. Like, Evangelion, like, I've heard about it, I know the story, but I never got around to watching it. Mostly because, like, with popular anime, the issue is, like, people hype it up so much that it's like, oh, it's amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing. Then I feel it just kind of puts me off. Like, I just don't want to watch it then. I don't know why I'm like this. For this very reason, I have never seen Clannad. I never finished Attack on Titan. What else is there that people keep talking about? That's also one of the reasons why I never watched Star Wars. I know it's not anime related, but it is one of the reasons why I never watched it. Like, everyone around me would always be like, Star Wars this, Star Wars that, wow. And like, when I said that, yeah, I've never seen Star Wars, it'd be like, what? You've never seen Star Wars? How is that possible? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not American. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, Star Wars isn't a big, like, it wasn't a big thing in India when I was growing up. But now, like, like, with the internet and everything, of course, like, everyone has seen it now, or nowadays. Is me. And it's like, and like, people even like not just like white people, but it's like Indians as well. Like, when I just say that, yeah, I haven't ever seen Star Wars, they're like, oh my god, you've never seen Star Wars? How is that? Like, listen, I'm gonna take off my chappal and beat you with it. Don't test me. Star Wars you haven't watched. Oh, have you watched Shaktiman all episodes? For anyone wondering what the fuck I just said, Shaktiman is our very own Indian superhero. He ate these biscuits called Parle-G and became a superhero. I used to love Shaktiman as a kid. As someone who still hasn't seen Star Wars, I get that, but I can't use the excuse of not being American. Like, I just say this, like, do not question me about Star Wars if you've never seen Shaktiman and Sonpari, okay? Like, if you expect me to be familiar with the stuff you grew up watching, then you need to be familiar with the stuff I grew up watching. Oh my god. But yeah, the more something gets hyped up, the more I just don't wanna, like, see it. That's why nowadays I just avoid talks about TV shows, like potential TV shows and stuff, because I know, like, if I hear people talking about it, it's just gonna put me off. Because there's this thing, right? Like, the more people hype something up, you go in with very, very high expectations, because you're like, okay, this thing has to be perfect then. And then when it's not perfect, you kind of just feel down, because, like, you had so many expectations from this, like, particular movie or TV series, and it just doesn't hit. And it's not just that, but if somebody is hyping up a particular show and you end up not liking it, and they ask you, like, oh, did you think it was amazing like I do? And you're like, nah, not really. They get so angry. Like, I've seen people get so mad just because someone doesn't like the same show as them, which is so weird. Like, everybody has their, everyone has different opinions and tastes. Like, so if you recommend me something, I'm most probably not gonna watch it. Like, not gonna happen, sorry bro. I would like to avoid this kind of conflict in my life. Because the thing is, you can't even say that, okay, I'll watch it, and you watch it, right? They will most definitely ask you what you think. And if you lie and say that, yeah, it was really good, they'll be like, oh, let's sit and talk about it. Like, I don't want to do that. So yeah, I just avoid things that just get super hyped. I don't know, man. I have never seen Game of Thrones, like the first few seasons, I just never saw them. I knew the entire story because of how people talked about it. Like they just kept on hyping it up and hyping it up, and they were just like giving out spoilers in the entire storyline. So that's how I know what happened, but I've never actually seen the show. I just saw the last 2 seasons, and that too because my cousin made me watch it because she was staying with us at that time, and when she would watch it, she would make me watch it with her. Otherwise, never seen Game of Thrones. Season 1 to I think 6. I have no idea. I never saw it. Didn't happen. But if you ask me, oh, did you see that episode where this thing happened? I'd be like, yeah, I totally know which story you're talking about. Have I seen it? No, but I totally know what you're talking about. I watched GOT at the beginning, but I didn't finish because I was spoiled on everything. I hate these kind of people as well. The ones who like sit there and spoil stuff for you. I don't know. They get some... they enjoy it so much. They're like, look at me, I'm spoiling stuff for you. It's just like, okay, I guess. Go off. Like, I remember I used to have a friend like that, and thankfully by the time they started doing, like by the time I met them and they started their, oh, I'm gonna spoil this thing for you thing, I was just like, yeah, sure, bro, go on. I don't care. I'm gonna forget about it by tomorrow. My memory is really bad. I won't even remember this conversation happened, so go on. Do not mind. And that in turn, like my indifference to the spoilers used to piss him off so much. He'd just be like, I'm spoiling this show for you, and you know, how are you not reacting to it? Why aren't you angry? I'm like, it's all cool. I don't mind. Hold on, I'm gonna drink some water. Anyways, so back to Shonen Omnioji. Yeah, so I think one of the main things about any anime that I remember the most, despite how long it has been since I've seen the show, is the ending or the opening, like whichever catches my interest the most. Because like I said, like Spotify wasn't always a thing in India, and we didn't have things like Apple Music and God, how many... I don't know which else music services out there nowadays. So like the only way you could hear a song was if you had the CD or if you pirated it. I pirated my music all the time. Like we would, at that time, I don't think I understood exactly how YouTube works. I was never on YouTube. I remember one time I opened YouTube and listened to a song, and there was like this subscribe button, and I was like, oh my god, if I click the subscribe button, would I have to pay? So I just fled the scene instead. So we used to, you know, look up these different sites where people had uploaded like the CD version of the the music. What was this? Like there was one animemusic.com or something where they had like an entire list of anime from A to Z in which they had uploaded all the endings and openings, and me and my friend used to download it, and then we used to put it in our iPod and listen to it. Now here's the thing, back then we also had like these PCs that had barely any memory in them, and so we really had to like pick and choose which song we were gonna put into the iPod, because it was like, okay, because you have to download it to the PC first and you have to keep it on the PC. Like at least that's what we understood, that we have to keep it on the PC, otherwise we can't have it in the iPod anymore. So we used to like really like carefully pick and choose which song we wanted. So it used to be like, okay, I want to download this song, and but is this song really worth it? Like, is this a song that I really want to listen to it, or listen to at all times? Because you know, some music is nice, but some music you put on loop and listen to it for weeks and weeks and weeks. So yeah, that was like one of the bigger questions that we used to ask ourselves, and yeah, that's basically my journey. And I remember Shonen Omni OG's ending especially was one that Yakusoko it's called, that I used to listen on repeat. Even now, a few days ago, I looked it up. Apparently, it's unfortunately it's not on Spotify, so I'm listening to it on SoundCloud instead. And I've just been it's just been on repeat. I've just been listening to it over and over and over again. And that's basically how I remember most anime. Like, if you ask me, do you remember this anime with this storyline? I'd just be like, do you remember this anime with this song? I'd be like, ah. Oh god, so much nostalgia. So yeah, that's how I really remember like Shonen Omni OG, and I like started like watching it again, and oh boy, it was actually fun. I'm not gonna lie. Apart from the existential crisis of the main character just being 13 years old. There we go. Wiki fandom. We can always depend on them. And the funny thing about watching Shonen Omni OG is Abe no Seme in Shonen Omni OG is obviously the good guy. In Nurari no Mago, Abe no Seme is the villain. Which I guess makes sense considering that Nurari is a whole story from the demon's perspective. Like, it's the rise of the yokai clan. Oh my god. It was such a flip up because I did not expect Abe no Seme to even show up in Nurari, because obviously Nurari is like set in modern times, but he just shows up and I'm like, wait, what? Is that Abe no Seme? And he's blonde. That was like the most shocking part, I guess. It's not even like Abe no Seme showed up. No, he's blonde. Why is he blonde? Oh my god. Like, no explanation. This man is just blonde. So yeah. Abe no Seme showing up wherever demons are. Apparently, it's like a given. If there is a yokai, there is Abe no Seme around somewhere. So yeah, that was like so let's talk about Shonen Omni OG first. So yeah, I started watching it, and God, it brought back so many memories because like I think that was like one of the shows where my obsession with yokai stemmed from. Yes, I really like yokai, like basically not just yokai, just mythology in general. I like reading up on stories about these different creatures that people have come up with over the years, and yokai were one of them. And you have to commend them. There's so many types of yokai. You see that umbrella over there? That umbrella is a yokai now. The wheel of a carriage is a yokai. Like, there is just like so much variety over here. Like, in the Western society, what do you guys have? You have demons, you have ghosts, and you have poltergeists. And ghosts and poltergeists are just made up of humans, like dead humans. Come over to the east and you will see the variety we have. Like, we have the jinn, we have the yokai, we have the tree ghost. Like, there are so many ghosts. Like, and it's not just limited to humans, right? Anything can be possessed. Anything can be a demon. That is called true variety, I think. Like, can you imagine there ever being like a fox demon in Western mythology? A 9-tailed fox? No. You all have like incubuses and succubuses, I guess. That's there. What else is there in Western mythology? Incubi and succubi, ghosts, poltergeists, demons. And Lucifer himself. There's like 4 things. And yeah, I'm gonna club incubi and succubi into one because like it's the same thing. Yeah, that's all you got. What is this conversation even? I should plan these things out properly, but whatever. In India, we have, so most of our ghosts here are like pretty wild. So I remember like growing up, we used to have this story, right? Like if you're like walking down the street or something, and like I think people ka ped, people, what is people called in English? Hold on, let me check. People tree. It is. Nobody wants the scientific name. Sacred fig. Okay, it's called sacred fig apparently in English. I don't know how true that is. That's what Google says. So yeah, that's what they tell you is never be under a sacred fig. I'm just gonna call it people tree. I'm sorry. Never be under a people tree at night because ghosts reside in it at night. Not in the day, at night. And if you're like walking past one or standing under one by any chance during the night, and if you hear somebody you know call your name, like you're just standing there and suddenly you hear your mom's voice and she calls out your name, do not respond. That is a ghost. Like it's pretty creative, I'd say. And it also makes you very, very paranoid because like imagine like you're just standing there and suddenly you hear your mom's voice and you're like, oh no, oh fuck, oh no, I'm late, I have to get home. Like, thank you for the reminder, ghost, I'm running home now. Because in India you don't stay out late at night time without your parents. You get back home before the sun sets. That is the rule. Oh my god. So nowadays, I don't know how that works though. Like imagine you're just standing under a people tree and you have your headphones on and listening to like music, and suddenly in the middle of the song you hear your mom's voice. Actually, no, that's not funny. That would freak me out. I would probably cry. I would cry if that happened. Like here I am listening to In the End by Linkin Park, and suddenly I hear my mom calling my name. No. No. I don't want that. I don't need that song tainted. What else do we have? Oh, we also have this other ghost. So there's like this I don't know which highway it is anymore. It's the story I heard when I was a kid. But there's this highway where if you go, like if you're traveling over it at like night and around like after midnight especially, and if you slow down your car to like a particular speed, like I think 20, a woman will appear next to your car running alongside it. And when you speed up, she will speed up as well. And if you end up leaving her behind, like if you speed up so much you end up leaving her behind, she will appear. And if you look back, like if you look back at her through the rear view mirror, she will appear inside your car. What happens after that, I have no idea. She just appears inside your car. She will go with you now. Very, very rude hitchhiker. She's just going with you now. You have now adopted her. This ghost is now your friend. So that was one of the stories. What else? Oh yeah, they also used to tell us that if you think that somebody is a ghost, you look down at their feet. If their feet are backwards, like twisted back, that means they're a ghost. Apparently, ghost can't have normal feet. I don't know how that works. I don't know what happens in death that your feet go backwards, but that's the story basically. What else do we have? Trying to remember. There was this one story, I'm pretty sure it's not true at all, about like there's supposed to be like this small town, like it's like a ghost town, and like nobody goes there. Like if you go there at night, you'll see all the people standing outside, and if you reach a crossing and you go past it, and if you look in the rear view, I don't know why it's always the rear view mirror, but if you look in the rear view mirror, whoever's crossing will appear in your car and they'll slash your throat. I don't know why. It was a weird story. It didn't make any sense. None of these do, but like there's still some sense like, oh, you don't go there at this particular time because of this particular reason. And obviously there was this one story that exists throughout every culture. Bloody Mary. Oh my god. Where did Bloody Mary even come from? I don't know. But when I was a kid, everybody was talking about it all the time. They were like, oh my god, if you say Bloody Mary 3 times, she'll appear and scratch your face. It's happened. There are cases. What is your source? I made it up. Obviously, back then when you're kids, you don't ask for sources. I mean, kids nowadays might, but we didn't ask for sources. I remember, our school would often take us on trips. Like, if you paid for it, they would take us to to trips to nearby cities. And I remember, like, we were just sitting one time, and these girls were like telling us about this trip, something that happened during one of the trips, in which apparently they went into the bathroom and they said Bloody Mary 3 times, as as you do with lights switched off. You say 3 times, and wait for her to appear. Nothing happened, obviously. But then they were like, oh, nothing happened. But then, we left the bathroom and we were just giggling and, just talking about it. But suddenly the doors and the windows started shaking, like as if something was, pounding on it. And obviously they were lying. I was just sitting there like, oh my god, it's Bloody Mary. So, like, I was freaked out to the point, like, when somebody asked me, do you want to try it? I'm like, nah. No. You want to summon Bloody Mary, you do it on your own time. I'm going home. I used to be so scared of these things. I would not try it. But to be honest, even if today somebody asked me, like, hey, do you want to try out an Ouija board? I'd be like, do you want to get slapped? I have seen enough horror movies to know how this shit ends. Don't you start this nonsense with me. Not on my watch. Like, honestly, I'm a pretty nice person and I'm a very good friend. But if one of my friends comes to me and is like, oh my god, dude, I tried an Ouija board a few days ago and now weird things are happening, you're gonna get unfriended. Like, I'ma block you. Like, I'm sorry. This is where I draw the line. Like, see, when it comes to issues in your life, like, okay, you had a fight with your parents, or you had a fight with another friend, or maybe, romantic issues even, like, oh, your boyfriend is being mean to you, or your girlfriend has dumped you, or whatever, I can help you with that. But if you end up summoning a ghost and it starts haunting you, what do you want me to do? What can I do in this situation? I can only leave. Anytime someone wanted to try summoning ghosts, I walk away. I don't play with demons. Exactly. I don't mess around with that shit. No. Like, if you tell me that, if you start telling me about your haunting, like, this is happening to me and all of that, I'm not gonna believe you. I'm not gonna lie. It'll take a lot for me to believe you. But will I try it even then? No. I feel like there are some things that should be left alone. Like, that's why, I enjoy watching horror movies a lot. But in horror movies, every time you see the protagonist doing like stupid shit, like, they hear a voice, they hear a sound, and they go like, who's there? And I'm like, are you stupid? Imagine it's not even a ghost. It's like a robber has like come into your house, right? And they're like, and you hear a sound, and you go, who's there? It's not like he's gonna go like, yeah, sorry dude, I was stealing your TV, I'll go now. You're gonna get killed. You just call the police. What is wrong with you? For some reason, protagonists in horror movies just completely forget that there are other threats outside of ghosts. Like the biggest threat to a human life is just simply another human being, not something supernatural. It's just a human being. But sure, let's pretend that it's a ghost. Okay. Yeah, so Bloody Mary was one of the stories we used to talk about a lot. What else was there? What do I remember? I guess we don't have as much variety as I expect. Oh wait, there was this one story. This was so ridiculous, but pretty creative. Apparently about this ghost, not even a ghost, like a demon sort of a thing that traveled at night vandalizing stuff, and it had like the face of a monkey, like a monkey monster or something, and like you had to say something to summon it, and it rode a bike. And I was like, are you sure that's just not another person, like wearing a mask or something? I don't know, man. Like that was one of the stories. Though I think the spookiest place, like we as Indians speak about, it would be this one called Bhoot Bhangad. It's a location in Rajasthan. I'm not sure if I've talked about it before. I've been there, not at the castle though. I really wanted to go there, but like there was a climb and I was lazy, so I didn't go into the castle. Oh my god. So apparently, like Bhoot Bhangad, like it used to be like this small village. Like a very, very, very long time ago, it used to be like a small village, and one day, the village just disappeared. Like out of nowhere, the villagers were just gone. The whole place was just abandoned. Like the castle, the village, everything. People said that I don't know what happened. Like nobody really knew. Like you couldn't tell that this is the reason why it happened. Someone said that it might have been because like there was a lot of wars happening a lot of that time, so people just decided to like run away. Some say that there was a curse on the place cast by an evil magician, so that's why the people disappeared. Like they all turned into ghosts. Because the story basically goes that after the village is abandoned, at night the whole place comes to life. Like you can see lights there, you can hear people talking and singing and music. Like the whole village has come back to life. Like that's the story. So that's why nobody's allowed to stay in that area, in the village, after dark, and they're not allowed to stay in the vicinity of the village after dark. It's a big tourist spot. Like you'll see a lot of people there all the time. I mean, when I went there, it was kind of creepy because basically you could see like how the old houses had kind of deteriorated over time. But it was also kind of serene because it's like a beautiful garden, there are like big trees, lots of monkeys. That I did not enjoy. Monkeys freak me out. So, yeah, I mean, I could see the castle was the only place that looked kind of creepy. I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to go up there. I'm gonna stay down here. Though my biggest reason for not going up there was just, I just didn't want to walk. Like, it was like a very steep, like, climb. Like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. My feet deserve better. And I feel like the whole place was like pretty empty as well, like the castle particularly, because you could all see like people moving around, like whoever had gone up to see the place, you could see them moving around very clearly. So yeah, there's also like this one story about the place. Like the castle used to have like this really pretty princess, and this evil mage fell in love with her, but she obviously rejected him. So he tried to use like a love potion to make her fall in love with him. But then she, being the smart person that she was, found out what he was trying to do, and she poured the potion over a rock, like this huge rock. So when the mage went to find her, the rock came, like the rock obviously fell in love with him because of the potion and went tumbling down and killed him. And I was like, wow, that's a story. Like, how do you get your love potion so wrong? It's like Sisyphus, but instead of Sisyphus trying to push the rock up a hill, it's a rock chasing after him wherever he goes. Yeah, these are most of the ghost stories that I know about. I don't know how I got here. But yeah, the more you know. I wonder if there are any other ghost stories. Now I'm curious. Let me see. Indian ghost. Ghost hound? No. I'm not talking about a dog breed here. Ooh, okay. What's this? 7 hair-raising real Indian ghost stories from 7 famous tourist destinations. Okay, let's see. The Umbrella Man. Okay, I've never heard of this one. Let's read it, shall we? Wait, let me see if I can share this screen with you guys without giving my location away. That's gonna be odd. Wait, hold on. Want to book a similar trip? Are you crazy? I love how the question is, now that you've heard this ghost story, do you want to visit this place? Like, no, dude. I don't want to die. Anyways, let's see. It was a holiday in school, and a friend and I had planned to chill at the mall road and have some snacks. Okay, so fun fact: no matter which city in India you go to, you will end up finding a mall road there. I don't know why. Like, I have found mall roads almost everywhere. I don't know if it's like in every city, but most of them have a place called Mall Road. However, by the time we reached Mall Road, it was already 7 p.m. How far is your school? Dude. Okay, anyways. We had coffee, enjoyed clicking pictures, and had amazing momos at a restaurant on the ridge. Momos are basically dumplings. At 9 p.m., we started walking back to our respective homes. I had barely walked a few hundred meters when it started drizzling. I was at a section of a road which was very quiet and had no shops, but some of the streetlights were still on. As I walked further, I saw a man with an umbrella walking a few feet ahead of me. I thought it would be a good idea to ask if he would allow me to join him if he was going the same way. Oh, that's bold. Like, I could never find ever ask somebody that question. Mostly because, like, I just couldn't do that. I'm too shy. I would rather get wet in the rain and get a cold than ask somebody, hey, do you wanna share this umbrella? Like, if I was drowning, I would still not ask for help because my anxiety would be like, what if you're a burden? Okay, anyways. I'm ruining this ghost story. Anyways. I walked faster, but it seemed I wasn't fast enough, so I started jogging, but I still couldn't catch up with him. Hello, I shouted loudly, and the man turned around. His age must have been somewhere in the late 60s, but what surprised me was the fact that despite having an umbrella, he was completely drenched. He started walking again, and this time I walked slowly. Perhaps I didn't want to be near him. He slowed down too. I walked even more slowly, and so did he. Finally, I stopped. There was complete silence. He had also stopped. I could feel the fear suffocating my thoughts. Just when I thought that I may not live long enough to share this experience, I heard a siren blaring and a police vehicle stopped behind me. They asked me what I was doing here alone. When I told them the story, they said I was alone. There was no one there with an umbrella and that I should stop sleepwalking. How are you sleepwalking? Huh? Not an earthquake. Okay. Listen, personally, if I had an experience like that, like I saw like a creepy old man and stuff like that, obviously I too would freak out. There is no doubt about that. But like, that doesn't sound very scary. It just seems like a poor old man who got wet in the rain and found an umbrella too late. Anyways, let's see. What is this? Not an earthquake. I had just arrived at Dharchula from Pancholi. Don't ask me where these places are. I have no idea. I was going to stay at a guest house in Dharchula for the night. Surprisingly, the guest house I was staying in had no other guests. I had my dinner and went off to sleep at around 10:30 p.m. Suddenly, I could feel the bed shaking and started escalating seconds later. I jumped out of bed, ready to put on my slippers and run as fast as I was sure it was an earthquake. But utter darkness surrounded me and the shaking stopped. It was completely silent. I turned the lights on and walked out of the door. It was raining and completely dark. No one was awake. I rushed down the stairs towards the reception area to ask the men there about the earthquake. The two of them were awake and were watching a cricket match. Nothing shook here, we didn't feel any earthquake, they said when I asked them. I was sure the bed was shaking. What kind of earthquake was that? Or was that even an earthquake? Well, I couldn't sleep after that and ended up watching TV the whole time. Works, of course you work at this website that is promoting travel. Look, listen dude, this isn't even creepy, okay? I feel like my bed is shaking all the damn time, but that has nothing to do with ghosts. I don't think ghosts have the time to just like lay under your bed and like shake it and go like ha 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 ha, get freaked. Turned on the light and there was only darkness around me. Of course, if you switch off the light, there will be darkness around you, sir. What logic is this? This isn't even scary. I think there's like something biological, right? What happens? I can't like it's something happens like sometimes when I lie down I feel like everything is shaking, but it has nothing to do with like it's not an earthquake or ghost, it's just like something biological, like due to some condition. I can't remember the name. The sea has hands. Ooh, okay. Let's see. I heard many horror stories surrounding the dumbest beach in Surat. I'm not Daredevil, but I'm an adventurer who loves to travel. So there I was at the dumbest beach on Christmas Eve last year. It was around 7 p.m. and I was enjoying long exposure photography when I suddenly heard someone screaming. I had noticed a few children playing in the water a while ago, but most of them had left. I waded into the water to see if anyone was in trouble. I could hear a child crying. I had waded in deep enough to start swimming. Suddenly, I felt a strong push by a pair of hands on my back and I plunged into the water. Even though I knew swimming, an unlikely fear of drowning overpowered me. Perhaps I was in shock with everything that had happened in the last minute. I managed to swim back to the beach only to realize how far into the sea I had wandered in from there. It was hard to believe how it could happen. Moreover, the cries had died down. I don't know whether it was real or something beyond the realm of what I could see, but I was convinced I hadn't waded so far into the sea that I had to swim for a good minute to get back to the beach. Okay, that's creepy. I'm gonna give you that. That is definitely creepy. Like, if you're in the water and you feel like something's pushing down, I would give up. Also because I don't know how to swim. But like the whole conclusion that I didn't go so deep, but you did though. You were saying that you went in so deep that you had to start swimming, and with the beaches I've been to, you would have to go to a particular distance before you could start swimming, right? Okay, that's creepy. I'll give you that. Give you that. Someone was definitely trying to kill you. You should ask yourself why. What did you do? The running ghost, Delhi Cantonment. Okay. It was Saturday and my friends in Delhi had planned an impromptu get-together. It was already 10:30 p.m. I quickly completed my work and grabbed my car keys to drive to my friend's place in Rajouri Garden. As I reached Brar Square, I noticed a distant, filmy figure chasing my car in the rearview mirror. I ignored it initially, but when I looked in the mirror, the figure was still running and the distance between my car and the figure had reduced. Hey, please! I think dealing with water is creepy to me. Same. I don't like water. Mostly because I had my own drowning experience, so I just stay away. But this is just like a rehash of the story that I told you guys about that figure running beside your car, and then, you know, if you speed up, it's still gonna be running. That's the same story. Anonymous shop owner. Let's be real. These stories are all made up, but still. Okay. After traveling solo in Sikkim, I had just arrived in Darjeeling, which was the last destination of my trip. I had around 1.5 days to explore the famous hill station. After relaxing at a hotel, I thought of going out and visiting some places nearby. I met a few locals who told me that I should visit the downhill in Kursong to witness some real natural beauty. They also told me that the area is haunted, which got me even more thrilled. Of course it did. So I picked up my camera bag, hired a bike, and started riding towards Kursong. I reached downhill in about 2 hours. The place was indeed very beautiful and reminded me of Nainital. Despite the lovely sight of the misty forest, sparse vehicle movement on the road, and the occasional chirping of birds, this place emanated an eerie vibe. I decided to hike a little further into the downhill forest to get a few good shots. Everything was great until a pair of grey eyes appeared to be staring right at me as I was looking through my camera viewfinder. Seconds later, I heard a shriek. I didn't waste a second in running back to my bike. Whenever I think of this incident, it sends chills down my spine. Huh? Okay, wait, let me get this straight. You arrive at a location and they tell you, hey, you should go visit this tourist spot. It's like very famous. And you know why it's famous? Because it's haunted. And you're like, aha, let's go do that. And you arrive there. And firstly, it's a hill. Darjeeling, I think, is like higher up, right? So the mistiness wouldn't be like a big issue. You just got creeped out by being in a lonely forest after finding out that it's haunted. Like, come on, be for real, dude, be for real. The grey eyes is weird because I don't understand where you saw the eyes though. Like, is it like you look through the viewfinder and it was like right in front of the viewfinder, like right in front? Like there was just an eye staring back at you, like, you know, when you look through a keyhole and there's another person looking through the keyhole at the same time, like that sort of a thing? Or was it like grey eyes just floating in the distance? Like Scooby-Doo? Oh god, this is why you can't tell me anything. Let's see. One of my friends and I were exploring Panchmari after attending the wedding of a school friend. They had explored Pandava caves, visited Panchmari lake, and were now visiting a nearby waterfall when the thought of exploring the forest struck us. Of course you're exploring the forest. Why wouldn't you explore the forest? All good things happen in a forest. We had barely walked 50 meters away from the waterfall when we came across a little girl around 11 to 12 years old. Oh my god, they have everything. They have a creepy forest, they have a little girl ghost. She said she had come with her mother to see the falls and now couldn't find her. Her clothes were soiled and too old for someone who was here just for a picnic. We told her to stay there while we looked for her mother. After searching for a few minutes, we decided to split and search in different directions. Wow! We spent over an hour searching for her mother, but in vain. It was getting dark and we thought of getting out of there and taking the kid with us to the nearest police station. We found her exactly where we met her an hour ago. When we asked her to come along, she said, "You can come here tomorrow. We'll try to find her again. See you tomorrow." Don't trust a child. Exactly. If I see a child and the child is like in this state and like, I lost my mama, I would be like, hello police. Wouldn't even tell the child, hey, you want to go to the police station with me? No, police, you come to me. I'm not dealing with this. No. Immediately call the police. Okay, what's this? It was January 3rd, 2018. I was driving back to Ratnagiri from Mahabaleshwar after enjoying a solo holiday. It was around 10 p.m. and I was enjoying a drive on the empty roads. Suddenly, I noticed a lady waiting alone at a bus stop near Kasedi, and I slowed down a bit, stopping eventually. She looked old, tired, and had a bag which she grabbed and hurried towards my car. Something told me to be ready to accelerate soon. She knocked at my window, asked me to roll it down, which I did no more than 2 centimeters. My husband threw me out of the house and I'm all alone. My family lives about half an hour away from here. Will you give me a ride? Please, I am no ghost. She pleaded with an intriguing smile on her face. She was pale and had unkempt hair. I'm not going that way. I'm sorry, I lied and started accelerating. Good decision, she yelled from behind, and these words... What? Oh, okay. What is this? This reminds me, there's like this episode in Supernatural where there's this ghost, right? And if you give her a ride, she will kill you. Like she'll seduce you. She'll bring her to your to her rundown house, and then she'll seduce you and kill you. It reminds me of that. Like, imagine if this was actually a poor old lady who had been thrown out, and she just wanted a ride, and this guy's like, nope. Oh, that poor lady. And the thing is, if you're if you don't want to help, why did you even slow down? Like, if I was driving, I'm sorry, I wouldn't slow down for strangers. I have a big stranger danger fear. Like, I do not, like, I barely trust people I know. You think I'm gonna trust strangers? Why would you even slow down? Like, with some of these stories, man, I swear to God. Let's see, can we find something else? Okay. Most of these were clearly made up, though. Like, come on. Bhangar, obviously, you're there. Let me just get some water and then. Ooh, okay. This seems interesting. Let me just mess around with this a bit. Oh, I can't make it bigger. Even my screen was like, madam, please, bus, enough. Okay, let's see. About 30 kilometers from Darjeeling is located the most haunted hill station in India, Dow Hill of Kursong, where there is no dearth of paranormal happenings and stories. A small hill station known for its beautiful vistas, orchards, gardens, forested hills, and tea plantations, Kursong is also home to a death road, headless ghost, haunted school, and countless real ghost stories. My god, they have everything. Here we tell you a bit about the place where creepy creatures are more concentrated than in other parts of India, okay? The Dow Hill is a beauty and a beast. Day or night, paranormal activities never cease here. Tourists visiting the place feast their eyes on the natural beauty of the destination and their ears on the horror tales associated with the haunted sites. Okay, tell me a horror tale. Let's go. The cursed forest and the ghost of a headless boy. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. The faint-hearted should certainly avoid the Death Road, which lies between the Daw Hill Road and the forest office. The local woodcutters have had a harrowing time watching the headless ghost of a young boy walking and disappearing into the forest. People have reported cases of being followed and constantly being watched over by an unseen entity. Some have even seen a red eye peering at them. Huh? There is even a ghost of a woman dressed in a... What? Wait, what? How is the boy headless if you've seen a red eye peering at you? And why is it just a single eye? Who wrote this? Har kuch. You'll write anything. He is headless, but he has red eyes. Oh my god. Okay, the Jinx School near the forest. Here in the woods of Daw Hill, where numerous unnatural deaths seem to have taken place. Maybe if you could tell me about these unnatural deaths, it would make this ghost story better, but sure, let's just summarize it all. Seem to have taken place is situated the 100-year-old Victoria Boys High School, which are pervaded by the dark vibes of the haunted forest. The locals have heard loud whisperings and the sound of footsteps when the school remains closed during the winter vacations from December to March. How can you hear footsteps from a school that's closed? Unless you're near the, like, literally in the school building, you would not hear footsteps. The locals heard loud whisperings and sounds of footsteps. So acquaint yourself with the. Okay, hold on. Like, am I being too critical? Who the fuck is going to a school from December to March when it's closed just to see, hey, are you haunted? Is anybody in there? Oh god, I don't know who wrote these, but dude, let's do better. Well, let's see, can I find something better? 25 haunted places in India and their spooky stories. Okay. Bhangar Fort, of course. Tunnel number 33, Shimla. No, I do not wish to travel. Okay. Let's read this then, shall we? Yeah, better. Toy train rides in Shimla sound like an adventure, but what if there is a haunted tunnel in the route? Not so much fun now, huh? Beyond the beauty of Shimla, the queen of hill station, lies tunnel number 33. I don't even want to go to school when it's open. You won't catch me there when there's exactly. Like, the moment school's out, I'm gone. Oh my god. And the funniest part to me here is like, imagine this. Your parents hate you so much that they are willingly sending you to a school that is reported as haunted. Like, Peter, you are starting school from tomorrow. Oh my god, where am I going? To this old haunted school. Wow, thanks mom, thanks dad. I can see the love. Oh my god. Right, where was I? Beyond the beauty of Shimla, the queen of hill station, lies tunnel number 33. It is considered to be one of the most haunted places in Shimla and in India as well. The Kalka Shimla route has a tunnel which lasts over 2 minutes, and as you exit, you reach Parog railway station. It is indeed a unique experience, but to be informed prior is always better. Okay, why though? Tunnel 33 in Shimla is named after Colonel Barog, whose ghost is believed to haunt the place. In 1898, he was a railway engineer and was instructed to construct a tunnel on time. After his calculations, he ordered the laborers to start boring holes in the mountain from both sides. After an unsuccessful attempt, he was fired and fined by the government. The laborers were also furious, which depressed him, and he felt humiliated. People say he shot himself out of his misery while out on a walk with his dog. The dog tried to grab the attention of the people, but it was too late. The colonel was buried inside the incomplete tunnel to pay homage. Why would you... What? See, this is how you get ghosts. Like, why would you bury his body in a tunnel? What is wrong with you? That is so disrespectful. Like, imagine you die and they're like, let us bury this person's body in a Pizza Hut because they loved pizza so much. Like, of course my ghost is gonna haunt that damn place. Like, let's be logical here, yaar. Buried his body in the tunnel, and now they're like, oh, it's haunted. You wonder why. Oh my god. What even is logic? Laying in a hammock with your favorite drink in hand, how does that sound? Relaxing? All you want to do is to get that good dose of vitamin C. Listen, I love puns, but you should be in jail for this. Shame on you. But that might not be possible at this beach in Gujarat. Located along the Arabian Sea is the dumbest beach, and we are going to find out why it is one of the most haunted places in Gujarat. People say it used to be a Hindu burial ground and spirits never left the region. Also, Hindus don't bury their dead. Also, have you ever seen a beach with black sand? It's so strange. Have you ever heard of science? Folklore says that the black sand is due to the amount of ash created by the burning of the dead and eventually getting mixed with the white sand. Once a serene beach, dumbest beach in Gujarat has now an eerie feel to it. The surroundings are beautiful, but you can. This is not a ghost story. Ooh, that looks creepy. Okay, I have hopes for this. There are some ghosts that love their alcoholic beverages. In GP block in Meerut, people have observed 4 males sitting together enjoying an alcoholic beverage or two in the company of a single lit candle. Okay. Initially, they are believed to be normal people enjoying a drink, but once the news of them being ghosts spread around, people in the area were panic-stricken. The area gained immense popularity due to this. People have also cited a young girl coming out of the house wearing a red dress. The stories are as intriguing as they can be, but as for the veracity, there is only one way of confirming that. You may pay a visit to the place and find out if the stories circulating about the block have an element of truth to them. I can't believe that this is a ghost story, because this just feels like some college students do ghosts on a date, leave him be, they chill. Yeah, I know, right? Just having some drinks and you all are like, oh my god, ghosts. To be honest, to me, if I heard this story, I would be like, yeah, that was most likely like some school kids or some college students wanted a place to drink for the night, but they couldn't do it in the hostel. So they just snuck into this old building and just had a few drinks there, and people were like, oh my god, ghosts. Like, please. Oh god, the music. Hold on. Like, YouTube, you are not Netflix. Let's stop pausing the video to ask, are you still listening? Yeah, I obviously am. Okay, there we go. Oh, the court. That's not a story. Ramoji Film City, Hyderabad. If you've been to Ramoji Film City in Hyderabad, you will know how huge it is. One of the biggest film cities in the country, it's also known to be quite haunted. Witnesses have reported spotlights falling off on their own, mirrors being decorated with strange marks, light men and other staff being pushed around, and crew members suffering from various injuries. Several females too have had their clothes ripped off by a mystical force or being locked in rooms inexplicably. So, this place is haunted, and you're willingly going there and working and wondering, oh my god, why are these things happening? Close it down, sir, move on. Like, if somebody pushed me, like if I got pushed around and I looked down and nothing was there, I would be gone. Like, literally calling an Uber and leaving right now. Chandan Nagar. Whenever anyone makes a mention of the most haunted places in India, Chandan Nagar in Pune always finds a mention. But why? It is said that just over a decade ago, a girl lost her life during the construction of a building in the Chandan Nagar locality of Pune. Several people have reported seeing a young girl dressed in blood-stained white frock holding a doll in her hand. A young girl with a doll, the image itself... Annabelle. Personally, if I was living in an area where they said they've been seeing a young girl running around, like she's like in blood-drenched clothes, she's running around, I would move out. I don't have funds to move out, I sell my kidney and I move out. But I am gone. Like, I don't mess with ghosts, and I especially don't mess with kid ghosts. Like, no. Writers Building, Kolkata. Writers Building at the BBD Square in Kolkata proves that no matter how famous a building it is, it can always be haunted. It all goes back to the 8th December 1930, when 3 young freedom fighters, Binoy Basu, Badal Gupta and Dinesh Gupta, entered the Writers Building and killed the brutal Inspector General Colonel N.S. Simpson. The people who work there are familiar with the ghost of Colonel N.S. Simpson, who they say lingers in the main building as well as the BBD Square, which has been named after the 3 freedom fighters. People who work there have also reported cries of help at night from the vacant rooms of the building. So a thought came to my mind. I don't know how appropriate it is, but You're telling me a colonizer was killed in the building and he decided that even as a ghost, that building belonged to him? Yeah, okay. I'm not surprised. That does not surprise me. Gonna move on now. Not this place again. Bombay High Court, Savoy Hotel, Missouri. Oh, okay. If you're looking to stay at one of the most haunted hotels in India, then Savoy Hotel in Missouri is for you. This hotel, very beautiful otherwise, is believed to be haunted by the ghost of Lady Garnet Orme. It's said that she was murdered with, I don't know what that is, which was added to her medicine bottle. The ghost of Lady Garnet Orme is rumored to haunt the Savoy Hotel in Missouri, where she was murdered by adding. Oh, so you just decided to pad the the word count? You will just copy paste the same lines, huh? You don't think I would notice? Years later, the doctor who was tending to her was found dead in similar circumstances. The case created a buzz and found its way to several books, including an Agatha Christie novel. What does that have to do with the ghost? There's not. Why do you think there's a ghost there? Like, there has to be a reason. Like, do you see her ghost walking? Like, come on, do better, yaar. Who is writing these? Dakshay. There are good ghosts and bad ghosts, just like there are good people and bad people. In the town of Dakshay in Himachal Pradesh, an 8-month pregnant wife of a British army officer lost her life in an accident and was buried at this very spot. After her death, a marble structure of the lady and her baby being blessed by an elf was constructed in the graveyard. Till today, there is a popular superstition existing in the region among the wives of the Indian army officers that visiting that grave would bless them with a baby boy. It's a pesticide and super toxic, but typically easy to get. Oh, I see. And this is not even a scary story. How disheartening. I've heard a scarier story. So, I was hanging out with my friend and she was telling me this ghost story that she had heard of about how this female officer, I think she was also posted in some hill station. Like, she was walking around at night when she heard a woman crying. Like, she was crying for her baby. And she looked at the tree, at a tree, and there was a woman dressed in like a white sari standing under it, and she was crying for her baby. And when this woman, when this officer went to assist her, that woman disappeared. And later she found out that there was actually a couple that used to live in that area, and the husband was very abusive, and he ended up like pushing her down the stairs or something when she was pregnant, which like took her life as well as the life of her child. And that's why she can be seen standing on that tree, because that was where she was buried, looking for her child. Not particularly spooky because she doesn't do anything to people. She's just looking for her child, which is sad. Now that's sad. What is that? Okay, never mind. The two-storied house in Kundanbag in Hyderabad is perhaps one of the most haunted places in South India. According to the widespread story, a thief, upon entering the house, discovered the dead bodies of the 3 owners. Upon reporting the incident to the police, forensic reports found the date to be roughly 3 months prior to the break-in. On the other hand, neighbors have reportedly seen the mother and her 2 daughters walking on the balcony and lighting the candles in the house at midnight, up to a day before the discovery of their bodies. How'd they die though? Hello? Finish the story? I mean, that is creepy though. That is creepy. I don't know my neighbors, but if something like that happened to me, again, I would move out. Spirits may not always inhabit old mansions, deserted houses, graveyards, and the like. One example of this is the Delhi cantonment, considered to be among the most beautiful areas of Delhi. It's a beautiful place for hanging out and having a great time. As day gives way to night, good God, who wrote this? Like, did you even edit this shit? As day gives away to night, there's supposed to be a space here. It's to night, not tonight. The place displays its spooky side. Both locals and passerbys have reportedly seen a woman clad in a white sari asking for lifts to those who pass by. If they are denied a lift, the woman chases the vehicle at the same speed. It can be quite horrifying to think about it. I feel like every place in the world has some road that is haunted by women wearing something in white. Okay. The story goes back to the times when Peshawas ruled Maharashtra. After Peshwa Baji Rao's death, his son Balaji Rao or Nanak Sahib took over the Maratha Empire. He was blessed with 3 kids named Madhrao, Vishwarao, and Narayana Rao. In the third battle of Panipat, Balaji died and Madhrao succeeded as the next king. Soon Vishwarao died, and in his sorrow, Madhrao died too. Good God. The youngest son, Narayana Rao, succeeded as the king at a very young age, but due to his inefficiency to run an empire, his uncle Raghunath Rao took charge on his behalf. Raghunath Rao's wife, Andibai, wanted Narayana Rao out of the picture to rule the empire. She changed the letter originally sent by Raghunath Rao for capturing him to killing him. Narayana Rao heard of a group of assassins coming into his sleeping chambers. He screamed at the top of his lungs and asked for help from his uncle, saying, "Kaka, uncle, save me." But Andibai's jealousy got Narayana Rao killed that night by the Gardi tribe. His shrieks can be heard by visitors to date, especially on full moon nights. Oh my God. That's sad. That's sad. And creepy. Like, imagine you're just walking around, looking at the place, and suddenly you hear someone screaming bloody murder. Boy. Missouri, what a beauty. Missouri, what was I saying? Missouri, what a beauty. In case you haven't visited this place, you're missing out on a lot. Beside all this natural beauty, Missouri has some lesser known haunted places. From Savoy Hotel, Paritiba to Mullinger Mansion and Lambi Dehar mines. Back in the 1990s, there was a limestone mine and more than 50,000 workers worked there. Due to safety and security issues, the workers faced lung problems and started coughing blood. Soon they died a needless death. The mine has been shut since. After that incident, people have reported a lot of paranormal activities and the death of a lot of people once a helicopter crashed there. Locals have seen a witch roaming at night. Also, Gaurav Tiwari, one of the most famous ghost hunters from India, had also visited to find the truth, which can be seen in a video footage on YouTube. Okay, I'm kind of done with these stories. They're not freaking me out. I feel like it's very hard to find like a story that's very concise, that has a beginning, middle, and end. Because most of these stories are, but rumors say, but they saw a headless boy and then a woman and then a red eye. It's like jumping from place to place, so it's like, I'm bored now. I can't believe we were talking about Shonen Omni OG and somehow we landed here. I don't know how my brain works, like what the thought process here is, but let's talk about Nurari or Mago, because God, I have a lot to say. Like, I like the idea of the show, not gonna lie, I enjoyed watching it as well. Has pretty nice openings, endings are fine, but it has some of the most useless characters I have ever seen. Like the entire human cast of Norarion, I don't know why they're there. They don't do anything throughout the show and they only exist to get into trouble so that they can be saved by yokai. So like literally, Rikuo, who's the grandson of Nurarion, the greatest demon ever, he's a demon as well as he's a yokai as well as human. Like his dad was a yokai, his mom's a human, like that. And it's so weird. He goes to high school. Like I don't know, he's 13, so he would be in middle school. So his friends, one of his friends is like super obsessed with the yokai. Like he's always going to places that are rumored to be, haunted by yokai to find them. And he's never able to see any yokais ever throughout the entirety of season 1. Everybody else around him will see yokai, get chased by them, get saved by them, and this man has not seen one Never seen one. And the issue here is that these human characters literally, like, that's all they do. They are there to go to these haunted places to get attacked and then to get saved to push the plot forward. And then season 2, they just disappear. They just disappear. I'm like, why did you even bring these people in? And the reason why I'm mentioning them is because the main love interest is a girl. Her name is Kana, I think. Yeah, she's the main love interest and she's a human. And you all wanna make me believe that Rico has some connection to her when you never see them together having any kind of conversation. Like in season 1, maybe they do have some conversations, but like here and there. But in season 2, they don't see each other at all. Like they're literally in the same city, but they don't see each other. And then the anime ends in like the stupidest way. Mostly, I think that happened because they didn't get a season 3, but like so the big bad of season 2, like they keep building it up, like she's a fox demon and she's supposed to be like this big bad, and she's like getting ready to give birth to this even worse, like the worst demon ever, like the strongest yokai ever. And that yokai turns out to be Abe no Seme. And I had to hold my head in my hands for a minute because I was like, wait, what? Yeah, so she is a fox demon and she gives birth to Abe no Seme, who becomes the strongest exorcist in the world as well as the leader of the yokai. And then basically they are stuck in like this cycle where he'll grow old, he will die, and then she will give birth to him again. That's how the cycle goes. But for a very long time, the Nurarion clan has been killing her and stopping the cycle. So when she's like reborn, they kill her, she comes back again, like that. So basically, this big bad she's supposed to be the worst demon ever, like, her role is reduced to just being an incubator for Abe no Seme. He is born, and he is born with blonde hair for some reason. Rico and his yokai friends, they all fight against him. And then the last attack is literally the power of friendship. Like they all stand together while Riku holds his sword into the air and they attack Abe no Seme, and they manage to cut off one of his arms, just one arm. Okay, he's been dominating the fight until now, and Abe no Seme is like, I see my body isn't perfect yet, I will go back to hell then. Just like, what? Bro, you can kill them all, why are you leaving? He just left. Oh my god. So he literally goes to hell where he had just banished his mother a few scenes ago. Like, listen, Abe no Seme, you may be the strongest person ever, but that is an Asian mother you have just banished to hell. You are going to get your ass beat. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, he goes to hell, takes all the yokai that follow him with him, and that is how the heroes win the battle. And obviously he tells them that one day when I have perfected this body, I will be back. And they're like, yeah, we'll be ready for you, bitch. And then the show ends. And there's no season 3. He showed up, got his dominated the battlefield, got his arm cut off, and decided to leave. That's how they won. All this build up for this. I don't know what happened. Oh my god. Apparently the manga had more stories to tell, like within this world, but I tried reading it. I read 1 or 2 chapters, but they were infested with the human characters that I find very, very annoying. So I just gave up. I was like, nah, screw this. I can't do this anymore. Oh my god. I felt so cheated because it's 2 seasons, okay? And every season has like 25 episodes. I felt so cheated because I spent so much time watching all of this only for it to end like this. All this build up for nothing. My god. Like, this anime had so many rushed training arcs. Like, Rico gets sent to this yokai village. You know, they are like the strongest yokai ever, and like they are like assassins for hire. And he goes there, spends like 2 days there, and then just gets strong and leaves. 2 days. I was like, okay. Guess that's all it takes. And he comes back, right? He comes back and they all go to, I think Osaka is where all of this is happening. They go to Osaka and Rico immediately gets his ass beat because he can't fight. He only learned one trick at the village before leaving. So he gets his ass beat. And then gets another 5-minute training arc. Oh boy. Season 2 of Norarion was a fucking mess. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what the hell was happening? Like, I want to say season 1 was fun, okay? It had like its fun moments, apart from like the human characters, God, they were annoying. But it had its fun moments. But season 2... Oh my god. I was like, at one point, I was just like skipping through the episodes because I was like, fuck this. Like, what is happening? Are you serious right now? And finally, Blood Plus. I feel like I'm not gonna talk about Blood Plus right now because I have like the video. Can't give all my thoughts away, otherwise, you guys won't watch the video. So, I will talk about Blood Plus in the videos. I'm gonna make one. So I already have the audio for the differences between the manga and the anime done, and there are a lot of differences, mind you, so many differences that just it made me wonder why they like deviated so hard from the manga. Because I'm not gonna lie, I did prefer a lot of parts of the manga more than the anime, even though the manga has a much shorter storyline. It's like 5 volumes only, so it has a much shorter storyline, and I preferred like many things about that I preferred more than whatever happened in the anime. The anime is just, it feels like it's too tragic at times. Like, yeah, even the manga has its sad moments, but the anime feels like it does it so much. Like, it kills off characters so much. Like, at one point it just becomes tiring, you know. And I don't think that should be that should be the takeaway from a sad story. Like, you've seen it happen, so like these things happen so many times that you just don't believe it. But yes, I'm gonna work on the video tomorrow and day after, like over the weekend, and see when I can like hopefully release it soon. Man, I should read the manga then. Yes, you should definitely read the manga. The manga story is much quicker, 5 volumes, much happier. Like, it does have its tragic parts, but spoiler alert, most characters survive. And I think in the manga, Saya's hibernation period is also shorter compared to the anime. In the manga, it's only 30 years, if I'm not mistaken. In the anime, it was like so much longer. I can't remember the exact number, but it was so much longer because they were like, there was a possibility that she wouldn't wake up in the same lifetime as Kai. Like, he would pass away before she woke up. So, yeah. And the manga actually really gives you a lot of insight into Diva and like what she thinks of Saya and what kind of relationship she has with Saya. I feel like the anime tends to miss out on that because they really push her forward as the psychotic human hating villain, but there's actually quite a little bit more to her personality. Watch my video to find out. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that video over the weekend. Hopefully, I can get the editing done by then. I completely edited the audio, so hopefully, it's like good enough. Let's see. But yeah, I think I should start wrapping things up here. I know this is like a super short stream, but it's just like a let's chat one. So I don't know how we went from old school anime to whatever this was. But I like talking about ghost stories with you guys. It's always fun. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble like a crazy person about like the stupidest things. I will see you guys next week. Ooh, because I was disappointed with Diva's character in the anime. If the manga adds more depth, that's definitely, yeah, it does. It does. It definitely does. I mean, I felt like it did compared to the anime. You should definitely read the manga. I would recommend it. Anyways, that is it for today, guys. I will have the schedule up Sunday night probably, or Monday morning, whichever, like whenever it happens. But I will see you next week, and we shall see, like, obviously we're gonna play some Honkai, like, I'll figure it out. But until then, that's it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye bye.